you know how Romeo and Juliet, it's, you know, it's a wonderful story, and they tell you at the beginning how it ends. I'm just gonna, spoiler alert, mine ends the same way that Chenga's does. I figure if I come out and say it, you won't be disappointed if I just start that way. Oh, Chenga's the same height as I am. That's refreshing. Usually I'm rather shorter than whoever's been telling before me. So, okay, so I too once had a dream. From as long as I can remember, I wanted to be a singer. And one of my very earliest memories is watching The Little Mermaid. And you know, that scene where she's on the rock and she knows what's going to happen and the waves are crashing and she's like, I don't know when, you know, oh my God, and the wave hits. And I would sit up in my chair and think, yes, that is exactly it. The route to ultimate happiness in your life is through singing. This makes sense. I will pursue it. So I did. And I sang, I mean, constantly, and I still do, and the people who are dearest to me are kind enough to bear with me as I sang through most of my life, and in between classes, and while doing dishes, and while sweeping the floors, and really any chance that I get. It's kind of a constant in my life, and has been for as long as I can remember. And I think it was in the 7th grade, there was a competition, a talent show for Beta Club. And I was like, aha! Now I can finally show all these people who think that I'm a total nerd that I am secretly super talented. And they will know. And I thought, what would be the perfect song to show everybody how awesome I am? Clearly Frozen by Madonna. It's a classic. And everyone will know it. It was either that or Om Shanti, because I only had the one CD. And I figured it'd be better to do one that was in English. So, not being well-versed in the world of how you actually go about performing things, I thought, I'll just bring my Madonna CD and somebody will put it in a tape player, and I'll sing it, and everyone will be amazed. And that's how it's going to go. This is the best idea. Okay, so I got myself all revved up. And the intro comes on. It's got that ooh. And I thought, I'm so dramatic. Everyone's going to be so moved. And the CD starts skipping. If I could know your and I thought, okay, it's cool, we'll just try again. And I tried again, and it started skipping in the exact same place. And they were like, I'm sorry, sweetheart, you just, no can do. And then they sent fucking Laura and Meredith with their dance from Cats. I think they took dance classes. And, you know, somebody else had choreographed it. Mine was way cooler. I just didn't get to show everybody how much cooler it was. So I began planning at that moment. I was like, okay, I have 364 days. Good, okay, what am I gonna do? So I planned and plotted, and I found my best friend at that time, Erin. And Erin and I were delightful friends in that we were both very imaginative creatures, and one of us could say to the other, I know, today we should both be goddesses. You can be Selene and I will be Artemis, and let's go with that. And I would say, that's such a good idea, yes, let's do that. And that was sort of how our friendship went. And so I said, Erin, I have this idea. We need to sing the showbiz from Ragtime. You can be Evelyn Nesbit and I'll be Harry Houdini. And we'll sing the showbiz from Ragtime. This was such a good idea. But we were not very skilled at presentation. This was not one of our strong suits. And so I begged my mother, and she said, well, we could get you some voice lessons. She's a very indulgent lady that way sometimes. So we found this woman, her name was Gina Van de Grift, and she was so presentational, and every time she would talk to you, her eyebrows would go way up, and I thought, this lady knows what she's doing. Yes. I bet she wears fake eyelashes. Yes. Everything about this is right. So we signed up with Gina, and Gina choreographed this business for us, and it was amazing. And I felt more than anything that this is exactly where I need to be. This is what I need to be doing. And we did perform the showbiz with, I mean, the most incredible, mind-blowing choreography of your life. There was a lot of like this. We did some of these. It was wonderful. And I was in drag. I had a bowler and a vest, and I made a fantastic Harry Houdini, the likes of which have never been seen. I didn't escape from anything, but I could have. I think at one point I pulled some flowers out of my sleeve, and I was like, oh, that's almost as good as escaping from a straitjacket. And it was. And I stuck with Gina and kept taking voice lessons and kept learning whatever I could learn. And she would show me all of these Broadway musicals and other things. And I would dream so big. I was like, okay, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to be in Oklahoma. I'm going to be in The Lion King. And, you know, just got very excited. And she even stuck with us so that at one point when we had our annual recital, you know how parents have to go to those recitals and they last 3 hours and like half the time is with the 4-year-olds doing this. And I go, so we did those, and the song that Gina had me doing when I was 13 was, wait for it, I Dreamed a Dream. And I'm talking about that song made even more famous by Susan Boyle, because she's like, oh, I am a strange-looking old woman, and you really feel for me when I say I dreamed a dream. But no, I was 13. I'd never had my heart broken, and I was totally into it when I sang, but the tigers come at night. You know, oh God, how long I have lived, how dramatic and difficult my life is. It was hard times. So naturally, the natural progression when I got into college was to do theater. So I majored in theater. And I thought, you know, because that's where musicals happen, is in theater programs. But LSU's program, where I went to school at Louisiana State University, they mostly did straight plays. They didn't do musicals. And there wasn't a lot of opportunity at that time for me to audition for anything, and what am I doing here? But then, Gordon Walker decided that he was going to do the last 5 years. He was going to direct the last 5 years. Are you familiar with this show? It's a musical. It tells the 5-year relationship of Jamie and Kathy, and his story is told from the beginning when he meets her to the end when he leaves her, and hers is told from the end when she gets his note to the very beginning after their first date. And the only time they're ever in the scene together is in the middle when they get married. It's really very beautiful. And Kathy is a struggling actress, and I thought, oh my God, that is my life. So I auditioned for the show. And I sang my little heart out, and I kept singing since my days with Gina and singing wildly age-inappropriate songs, but just really staying with it and thinking, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Maureen in Rent. That's what's going to happen with my life. I can see it now, and I definitely could. So I was so sure that this part was going to be mine. I just knew it. So I get to callbacks, and there are these other just amazing performers around me, and I think, okay, they are good, but I'm meant to do this. This is my destiny to play this role, to do this part. This is it. Oh, that went faster than I thought it would. So callbacks, we go through callbacks, and then the casting sheet is put up, and I did not get the part, and I thought, well, that doesn't make any sense. This was my destiny. So I went up to Gordon and I said, hey, I'm not complaining here. I want to know why you didn't pick me. And he said, well, we were looking for someone who looked a little younger. And I thought, younger? I'm 19. What do you mean younger? Gordon, that doesn't make any sense to me. And he said, well, really, just looking for someone who was a little less... And he couldn't come up with the right word for... had I been prepared, it would have been like, zaftig? But at the time, all I got was, and that was sort of, I put that dream away and thought, I will attend to this maybe later. I realize I'm going over. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible human. But I don't think I'll have any waiting. So just keep talking for a second. So I put that dream away for a minute, and I kind of switched to costume design. And after I graduated with my degree, my super useful degree in theater, I did substitute teaching. I taught GRE and SAT prep for the Princeton Review. I worked for Louisiana Association of Museums as a gopher, and sort of had this, I don't really know what I'm going to do, until my sister threatened me with law school. She said, Danielle, you need to suck it up and go to law school. And I thought, oh no, I can't do that. So I thought, okay, what do I love? I have to do something that I love. What do I love? I love women and stories. Can I get a degree in women and stories? It turns out that I can. I found this program at East Tennessee State University for a master's in storytelling. I thought, aha, that is it. That is what I meant to do. And it was not the very first story I told, but the first folk tale that I really pulled out, called Merisier plus fort que l'éléphant, which means Merisier is stronger than the elephants. And in it, there's an opportunity, there's a chant, there's a point where I can sing. And I realized at that time that I didn't have to keep that dream put away, that it didn't have to be excluded from my future, that I could incorporate it into my telling, into my life. And that it could certainly, that dream could sort of keep going. And I have been telling stories and continuing to sing, and also play my tambourine off rhythm ever since. Thank you.